Welcome, Hot Rod City residents. If you're not a resident, you're just a visitor today, all you got to do to become one is hit that subscribe button. I'm going to show you how I built this workbench for the garage for less than $100. This workbench is rated at 1,250 pounds. So if you want to see how I made it, stick along, watch the rest of the episode, and enjoy. Now, as you can see, this is what I'm starting with. This is after going pretty hardcore working on my last project. So a lot of the stuff still needs to get put away. But, as you can tell, I kind of need the workbench and more storage area. So, I'm going to clean all this up and get started. This is what I'm actually going to use as the base for the workbench. We're repurposing, recycling, whatever you want to call it. This was a fish tank stand for a fish tank that I bought. This had a 125, 120 on it, 6 foot long. We're going to do an 8 foot countertop on it, and also retrofit the inside. It'll hold the weight. I already know that I'm going to put on this. This rule of thumb with fish tanks, for every gallon is 10 pounds. So with 120 gallons, it's 1,200 pounds that it will hold. And the guy I bought it from had it completely full of water, rock, and everything else, and I built a nice stand, so I'm going to repurpose this. First thing I'm going to do is drill some holes through the back of it and cut a piece of 3/8 plywood as a backer, and get that in before we start cutting on 3/4 plywood. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down, start drilling some holes. Now I ripped down the 3/4 plywood from the sheet to fit here, and what's left of it is going to determine the size of the actual top. So I just put some 1 5/8 screws through the back of the 3/8 plywood into the 3/4. Then next I'm going to go ahead and do the shelf while I have access. So the cut-off piece from the 3/8, cut here and cut it down to 10 inches. Now I put some 3/4 in here, and then use some 2x3. Do a shelf. I don't like my shelves flush, as it were. I prefer a little lip, like this lip right here. I actually think it gives them a much cleaner look. So that's the look I'm going for. And the idea for this shelf is for jugs and whatnot. That way they're up out of the way, so I can buy stuff in 1 gallon form, maybe save a couple bucks. So I'm going to stab a couple screws in this, then we can move on to the counter. Alright, so this is the countertop. That's going here. 2x6 is bigger because when I line it up, it's got an overhang. This way the overhang still meets the angle. There we go. Just drill some holes through the bottom. We're going to put some screws in from the bottom. It won't go nowhere. I'm going to put some trim on it, and debating on what to do for like a backsplash. Since I have a couple extra pieces, I'm thinking about maybe putting a shelf with a little shelf just for, bins or something like that. I think that'd be a good thing. And then get a good functioning bench. So it's at the right height, you just lean on it, waste time, all that jazz. So, get it screwed down, put some trim on it, and I'll show you that. Now, eventually I plan to have in this window a piece of 3/4 inch trim to go around it. So what I did is I measured to where the top of the shelf will meet the top of that 3/4 inch trim. So wherever it goes in front of any of these windows, it's the same height, because all the windows are at the same height. So what I'm doing is took a little bit of scrap, ripped it down, and table saw. I'm going to screw it in like this, and then I have a backer cut from a piece of scrap, 3/8. Alright, the shelf is mounted. I have just a little bit of flex. I don't actually plan to put like heavy stuff on the shelf. So mostly just related to whatever project I'm working on. So I have a working space. And then that, and also in case I decide to put some cool lights under here or something like that later. But one little add-on I'm doing is this pegboard. I bought a 4x4 sheet of it, and I still got some left over to go on the ends. So I've already mounted that one on the end. I'm going to mount this one. I preemptively drilled 2 of the holes I needed when I had everything off, that way I could mount up to the top. So and all I'm mounting with is some 1/4-20 neoprene washers. If you like stuff like this, related to my garage as well, including the garage itself and the projects, don't forget to like, rate, subscribe, hell, leave a comment. Helps me out a lot for the goal I'm after. So, catch you later.